Good morning, I guess. Oh my God. Today's title is Reflections on Two Judges. In my court appearance yesterday, the judge was antagonistic from the get-go. He did not allow me to make my statement. He did not like me asking questions. I'll ask the questions, he said. He only gave me two unacceptable choices and admitted that he was using coercion to force me to contract with the state. Only when he threatened to have me arrested, a third choice, did I reluctantly accept the continuance. So what did this judge and the one on Tuesday have in common? Answer: Dr. Mary Horgan. How strange is that? I began to connect the dots in the courtroom when a few people before my turn, she had finally gotten a job and was able to start paying her fine and reinstating her driver's license. The whole thing was about driver's licenses yesterday and registrations. And it was totally different than the previous court thing. I mean, it was not run exactly the same way. It took longer. More people had a chance to say things. Anyway, this one lady had gotten a job at a company, and the judge wanted to know if that was the one behind the mall, and he said, "Oh, I used to work there for Weiss blank," and his name, Murphy. I hadn't connected the dots till that moment, or that's when I began connecting the dots, but I realized in that moment, oh my God, this guy is, till a couple of years ago, worked with the same law firm that the plaintiffs in the lawsuit had gone to steal Dr. Mary's property before she woke up and she realized she had been conned, in other words, and then asked me to get involved. And we had to go to that attorney's office to find out some things and to try for her to try to change her will, because she had made a mistake. And I actually sat outside the courtroom. They had me wait. I brought her there, and she was inside a room with the attorney, Mr. Weiss, and I could hear the conversation going on. And she kept telling him what she wanted, and he kept saying, "Are you sure that's what you really want?" And finally, in desperation, she asked, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And I mean, I was sitting. They claimed I moved furniture around, which wasn't true. When I could tell that I heard, I simply moved from one chair in the office to another chair so that I could be closer to the door and hear the conversation that was going on inside. And of course, that came up when the whole lawsuit hit. That was part of the testimony. So that law firm, of which the judge yesterday would have been part of it, he would have been aware of the whole situation. And in fact, I provided him with documentation from the Mary Horgan case. So in case he might not have remembered, I helped him remember. And then, of course, the judge on Tuesday was also a lawyer, that was an attorney that was involved in Dr. Mary's whole process of trying to create a new will, as our mutual friend, Dr. Mary's, and my mutual friend Walter recommended Judy Atkin as an attorney. And he took Dr. Mary to see Miss Atkin, and a will was prepared, And then it followed up with a letter. I followed it up with a letter thanking her and explaining to her some of the controversy. Well, when she got my letter, and it all started coming back to me as this whole thing, as I've been thinking about this thing, she sent Dr. Mary's check back and said that the will that was created is not going to be accepted. And I never did see the will that Dr. Mary created with Judy Atkin, but she did not want to get involved in a controversial situation. And obviously, when informed that there was controversy involved, she opted out and backed off. So I found it rather strange that both of these judges that I'm now dealing with in this matter, which is insane. Again, I was arrested in my home for driving without a license. I had never received an actual summons for actually, in the course of actually driving. There could be no possible testimony of a witness, a law enforcement officer, or anyone that could testify to me driving, or at least, well, there could be people that have seen me drive, but certainly not someone that had the authority or apparent authority to give me a summons for it. And when I did receive a blank summons for something that I didn't know what it was and asked for clarification, no clarification was ever provided, even though I had responded in writing asking for more detail so that I could respond intelligently. So the whole thing, this whole incident with the police, is now traceable in my mind to sour grapes on the part of some of the attorneys for the things that happened in regard to me attempting to save my house in this lawsuit that has been going on for almost 7 years. July next month, which is almost just a couple of days away. It's almost here. It's been going on for 7 years. It will be completed by the end of the month. It will have completed 7 years and starting into the 8th year. And so it is politically motivated, and I'm absolutely 100% sure of it, that they have joined together in a personal affront. And you say, Ron, don't take it personally. Well, when you begin to connect the dots, you begin to see that it is personal. It is personal. It's all connected to Dr. Mary's estate. And it really breaks my heart to see the extent that these people will go to commit their injustice, when in fact Dr. Mary wanted me to have everything. She wanted me to have the whole thing. And it was me that interfered and brought these other people into it, some of them. It was me that did that. To top it off, when I got home yesterday, I had a call on my answering machine from my next door neighbor. And I called her back, and she said, you had some visitors while you were gone today. And I went and agreed to meet her, outside between our yards. And she gave me 2 business cards. Both of the business cards are people from the state of Missouri, Kansas City and Lee's Summit. Both of them are federal agents, one with the Department of Justice and the other with the Department of Treasury. I did send them an email in response. I have not heard back from them yet. The one email had an automatic message that they will be out of the office until July the 2nd. But they're obviously in Florida right now because I have their business cards that were left with my next door neighbor. So I have no idea, folks, to be honest with you, where all this stuff is going. Some people have said, why don't you just get a driver's license as far as the issues in the court? The truth of the matter is, I have made an offer, a legitimate counter offer, to get a driver's license and a registration and insurance and to qualify for what the state of Florida wants. The only stipulation is I want it done in such a way that I am not putting myself in the jurisdiction of the court and under the jurisdiction of the state. I am not a citizen of the corporate structure of government in the United States at any level. I have stated that on and for the record numerous times. The courts do not have lawful jurisdiction over me. My lawful jurisdiction is in the Republic for the United States of America. I have stated that to them. And yet, they continue to try to exercise some type of authority and threat, and the threat in the courtroom yesterday was obvious and blatant. I mean, I had two witnesses or two observers there in the courtroom who are now witnesses to the way that I was treated. And they can swear, anybody that was left in the courtroom, and I was third from the end, I believe. There were only two more people after me, pretty much the same as the court appearance prior. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. But what I said in the blurb is true. I asked to make a statement. I asked the bailiff to come and give the judge a paper. The bailiff shook his head no and, wait, signaled me to wait. And the judge almost didn't even let me present the state attorney with the paper that I had prepared. And when I tried to ask questions, it's my job to ask questions. And as I said, he admitted that he was using coercion. He admitted it right up front, that he was using coercion to get me to contract with the state and procure a license without protecting my rights. Now, obviously, for those that know the law, he behaved in an unlawful manner. This entire episode has been an unlawful manner. And I don't know what I'm going to do at this point in time. I don't know. I've stood strong to the best of my ability. I've anticipated changes last year by October 28th, 2011, the end of the ninth wave. I anticipated that by then the world would be different. It wasn't. So then we move into 2012, and the world really still isn't different. The same people are in control. The same criminal element is still playing a role in the lives of not just myself, but many people around the world are falling victim to the enterprise known as the de facto government of the United States and other de facto governments around the world. I sure hope Drake is correct, that the arrests are going to start and that things are going to change. The message from Salusa this morning through Mike Quincy, I don't have it in front of me, but said something where it's going to be easier from here on out. There's going to be more contact with our extraterrestrial friends than ever before, and things are going to start really progressing nicely. I sure hope that's true. I'm weary, folks. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. This has been by far the most challenging year of my entire life. But since Dr. Mary left me in her will, or I should say her trust, and since I've been involved in the Mary Horgan Center, not much changed in my life as far as my spiritual service. I was doing that long before I opened the Mary Horgan Center. I was holding meetings in the metaphysical community long before there was a Mary Horgan Center. But the one thing that's really different since I opened the Mary Horgan Center is that I've been involved in legal controversies continuously. And it is very tiring. It's very tiring. I ask you to keep me in your prayers. And I really, really want contact with my angels in a physical way. I mean, a material way. I've never had that. And I think that would help a lot. Well, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. God knows. Thank you for listening as I shared my reflections on two judges and more. Namaste.